What up? What up? What up, everybody? Lonnie here. Charts and Labs, breaking down some charts. Got my labs doing what they do best. Um, we got a request for a step-by-step video breaking down buying and selling on these live exchanges, specifically regarding TXC. So we jump into TXC right here. We see that this September started the peak, and then there's been a downtrend that's kind of established since then, and we are still kind of following that pattern. This longer term May uptrend that was nice and steady was tested here in mid-November, which went back to the resistance of the downtrend. And the last couple of days was some pretty high selling pressure and really tested this support. And you could argue that it kind of broke right now but we're trying to fight back to reclaim that. So in a position like this is kind of your buy or ride kind of thing. Do you want to ride to let it establish that without you, or do you think that this is a good time that we're going to reclaim this and go up? Um, I'll break down the charting side and the more recent activity of TXC on my next video. But this one we wanted to specifically get into the buying because if you are a long-term investor or believer of this project, this is a great buying opportunity because we're back at older August prices. So first things first, what exchanges are we going to use? So of the exchanges that TXC is listed on, Uniswap is a unique one. This is for the wrapped version that's wrapped with Ethereum to be traded on the Ethereum network. It is for WTXC. You can't buy the native token on there. This is WTXC. DexTrade was the very first exchange that listed TXC on it. It is considered a tier 3 exchange, not in regards to where it's like a bad exchange and you're gonna lose your money and all that, but it is it doesn't report all of its data, and it's not highly held in regards to or to its type of exchange and its flow. To the coin market caps and coin geckos and these larger kind of community standard pages. So Bitmart, Mexi, Biconomy, XT, pionex, I think Jew also is on there, but those are considered tier 2 exchanges. So they report more data. They have a little bit better reserve and some more safety and security than the tier 3. And since they report more data, they're better in establishing a brand new project like TXC, who's not quite been verified by CoinMarketCap. So getting more volume on these tier 2 exchanges is going to lead to the invitation of the tier 1 exchanges that everybody's more familiar with, like Coinbase and Kraken. So something to be mindful of. But basically, there's no like right exchange or wrong exchange to use. It's mostly what one you're comfortable with, what features you like, because they all offer a little bit different features. Some copy trading, but you want to see where like the volume is. Where the volume is means that there's more activity on there. So Bitmart, Mexi, and Biconomy are the three main ones that the market maker that is being used to kind of help balance the market is providing. They are providing the liquidity there. DexTrade is high on this list because it was the original. Kind of everybody who first started with TXC had a DexTrade for the longest time. Uniswap jumped up big time on its volume. Normally this one is quite a bit lower. Pionex and Biconomy, and then WeX, who's not listed still for some reason, even though it went live November 26th. I'm curious when CoinMarketCap is going to get that data from them in regards, but they are also a US friendly exchange. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use one of the more US friendly exchanges, but also one that is good internationally. I personally like pionex. I think it has some great features built in. I like the built-in trading bots to kind of help build and establish some consistency in the volume. I also like that it has the lowest fees. Bitmart, for example, has 0.6% on the maker and 0.6% on the taker of the fee process. So there is a little bit larger fees. Biconomy is 0.2, which is considered low fees, but pionex is 0.05. They make that 0.2% kind of on the bots, but by providing you a bot that's making you money, and then they make a little bit more money on the exchanges by operating it for you, that's where they are allowed to allow the people making the trades themselves lower fees. So personal preference, I like pionex, so let's jump into pionex. So when you come to pionex, when you're international, you're using pionex.com. If you are in the Asia market, Pikel is the sister site to Pionex for the Asia market. If you are in the US, you are using pionex.us. If you are downloading the app on a mobile device, you're going to see Webot for the pionex.us. When you search it, it should still come up the same regardless, but you're going to see Webot as the pionex.us app on your phones. For international, again, pionex.com. And I don't think that changes for the app. I think the app is Pionex and all. So when you're coming in to start, you're going to deposit. It's going to deposit money on pionex.us. Of course, it's using USD, the US dollar. I'm not familiar, but I'm going to imagine that the international will link to another source, or maybe it has to convert to a dollar. That part I don't know 100%. I haven't been using it internationally to know. So you can deposit 0% fees to deposit using ACH. There are some limits that you have, and there's a processing time. In that processing time, you likely will get access to the funds before it's done fully processed. And that means that you can't withdraw the money right away. You can't buy, make a quick buck, and then take it all out. So it has to sit for a little bit on the exchange. Can't just keep going in and out, in and out, in and out. So something to be mindful of if you're depositing the money, it's going to have to sit there for a little while before you have full access to take it. You can use debit card, which allows you to get the money instantly and have access to it. But you still have 10 days it has to sit to withdraw. I think it's about the same on the bank account. Wire transfer, or if you already have another exchange that you have linked to your bank and you don't want to just keep linking your bank or linking your debit card to all these different exchanges, you can use whatever exchange you already have. I know a lot of people for TXC actually, to get onboarded, went out and built a Coinbase account. And Coinbase is a tier 1 exchange that a lot of people have. So if you're already on Coinbase, very easy to go on to Coinbase and use your money that you have there directly. You can buy one of the stable coins, one of the USDC or USDT, and then transfer that into Pionex. And so then once you have your wallet, your money, you'll come in and you'll have to convert it if you're depending what you have, kind of thing. Again, we have to, when we're looking at these exchanges, some of them have different, most of them are USDT, but some of them have USDC as a pairing. Like Biconomy, for example, uses USDC, XT uses USDC, and for some reason I want to say WeX uses USDC also, but Pionex is paired with Tether, USDT. So we're wanting to make sure that whatever we're trying to buy, our funds that are available are in USDT. And they have this nice little, through the trade tab, come down to convert, and it brings you here. And if you're in your dollar, your fiat currency, you'll click this one. I have USDC right now that I transferred in to be able to make this video, and I need to get it to USDT. So your balance that you're transferring will be either USDC or USD, and then you'll transfer it to that. You can pick an amount if you don't want to do the whole thing, or you just do max and then hit convert, and then it tells you what you'll get. Oh, hold on, cancel. I don't think there it goes. Wait till you see the conversion factor. There is a small fee for the conversion. So we are going to get 99.4. As you see, it takes about 10 seconds, sometimes faster. Not even enough time to get a drink of coffee. Confirm. Okay, so now we have our funds set up and ready to use, and we're going to go buy at the market. So when you come into the trade tab, come down to spot trading. I have other videos where I've already gone through the bot trading. That's where you're going to allow a bot to make all these trades for you. You see, this is Bitmart, another one of them. You come into trade, spot trading, and it brings you into, I'm on depth, but the chart is right here. And you can see their order book, and you're going to place your buys and sells here. So I'll show that one too, but going back to pionex and the step-by-step of how we're buying. So looking at this, looks like we're building some momentum off of that 279 touch. And we see that we have an available balance of USDT of 99.834 to buy. And I want to buy. You can do what they call a market buy. And I just am going to give it the amount of USDT that I want, that I'm going to buy. And it will buy every order up to fulfill that price. So right now, looks like I'm going to it would go all the way up to a little bit into the 320 range to fulfill a $100 or a 99 order, or a 99 USDT order, because I'm going to buy some of those. To buy out this whole order is going to be 102 USDT. So that's a little bit more than what I have. So I could place a market buy. But to show you the difference, I'm going to go through the limits. These ones down here that people have placed are limits, and what they're looking for are bargains. So what people are doing down here is placing a $3 limit and saying that I can either set a certain amount of TXC that I want to buy. Say I want to buy 5 TXC at $3. That automatically shows my 15 USDT, and then I place that order. I don't think it'll show up in the order book. That's too low. So to make this one show up, I'm going to do this. We're going to do just to show down here, we're going to do 3.15. I want mine to show up at 2.2. So we'll set that, and it's going to ask me to confirm. And then we're going to see that my order right here showed up 5 at 3.5 at 3.1522. And then here's my order that it's sitting in and waiting to be fulfilled. It shows me that I want 5 and 0 have been filled so far. We're not going to do that because we don't want the price to go down. We're trying to help build the price up. And we want our order to fill because we're looking at this as such a bargain that at any moment somebody's going to come in and buy a whole bunch of this and the price could go up. So what I like to do at $100 or even like up to like $500, a market buy wouldn't be too erratic in the price. But because I want the consistency of the order and I do want the order to be filled without a drastic spike, what I typically do is I'll go up into the order book and I'll place an order above the ask. So 3.17 is what the current bid is right now. That's the mid. If I place that, the order will have to be matched by a sell order. But I can come up here and I can do watch this one. We'll do 3.1888. I like to do repeating numbers on my orders. So if you ever see the order book with a lot of repeating orders or repeating numbers in the order, that's probably me. And because we're going to make it repeat, we're going to do 11 TXC. So that is a 35 USDT order. And when we hit buy, it's saying that I could essentially set this as a market price order, and it would feel the same as what it's reminding me. I'm just doing this because I don't want to create an erratic spike in the price and mess up the flow. But I'm trying to establish a consistency in buying, and I also want to show this process multiple times. So boom, I placed that. So you see that I had 3.1888 was my order limit. I wanted 11 TXC, and so far only 6.69 have been filled. Because that sell order wasn't all the way hasn't came all the way down, and there wasn't enough. The buys are here, 3.1888. That's my order right there. That the remaining balance that needs to get filled is 4.31 in order to fill my entire order. So you see that now the price has moved up to the 3.1884 because the next sell order that somebody's willing to sell this at is 3.1892. Now, I could sit here and let this run for a while, and you're going to see that this will start filling because the market makers and the algorithms are they want orders to be filled. So you see how more are filling gradually. Eventually those sell orders are going to come down to meet the buy orders. So if we constantly place these lower buys down here, eventually you're going to see that's where the price is going to lead until buys are placed above. Whether they be market orders, which are a flash buy, they won't hold the price. So we're seeing that one is kind of not filling. I can come over here and I could do a market buy just to show you in the USDT. I could watch. I'm going to do 4.7677. So basically, I'm just using my change right here to do a buy. It's estimating that I'm going to get at least 1.49 TXC for that, plus my 11. It's going to give me a total of like 12.5. Now, when I place this order, it's instantly going to fill at whatever price the market has, and it's not going to sit down here because it's filled. Average price was 3.1894 to create that fill. You can see that the candle represents that was happening, but my buy order down here still hasn't been filled yet, and the price came up a little bit because now it's above mine. I'm not setting the price anymore. So we're seeing that that's sitting and waiting to fill. We can come over here to Bitmart just to kind of show and see some stuff going on while we're seeing if that will fill. And I'll show you some different stuff on this. It's kind of the same thing. Limit right here. You could go to 5 decimals on Bitmart, and the price is down at 281. So if we had our money over here on Bitmart, we would be able to buy a little bit cheaper. But you can see that that's because that was the last one filled. The current bid is 295. Yeah, I don't think this is updated right. This is showing just kind of weird because 295 is the bid. So if somebody wanted to sell, they couldn't sell it unless it was 295. But nobody could buy anything unless they were buying it for 320. So if you came over here and wanted to do a market buy, you would be buying at 320. So the price really is the same, even though it's showing different. It's because some exchanges will show the last order filled, and some exchanges will show the mid or the spread between the buy and the sell. But same thing, you place your USDT or the amount of TXC that you want to buy, and it tells you how much USDT is required for that market. Or you could even set, what's kind of nice on Bitmart is a trigger. So you could essentially set a order that is if the price hits this, then execute this, which is kind of a 2-step, just a little bit more advanced. Nothing crazy that you need to know or any of that. We're still sitting at 6.73 on that order. So we're going to come over here and we're going to just set another one and see what happens if we do 3.1999. This should fill up most of it because we can cancel this and stop trying to let the price sit. As you can see, now it's wanting to hold that as the last order filled. As the mid, I'm going to set this one to 3.1999, and I have 73.61 remaining USDT. So when I hit buy, thank you for that. I think it's going to tell me I'm going to get about 23 plus the 1.4, so I'll have 24.5 TXC. Buy the 23. There's a little bit of a tiny transaction fee burned up in this process, but I'm going to get my 23 TXC most likely. Oh, didn't quite all the way fill right away because there still isn't quite enough cells to fill that order. So I placed my order for 23 TXC. So far, 19.48 TXC have been filled, 84% of that. My average price right now that I filled those at was 3.1912 because I bought all of the orders that were for sale below and I brought the price up to that. So now the minimum that somebody's wanting to sell is 320, just like on Bitmart. But because I've placed the order to fill the gap, the price is all the way up to 3.199, which is why this candle's built up. So that's most likely going to fill. Just kind of wait and let that spawn out to show the that the algorithms are going to bring that price in to fill. I'm not expecting a massive somebody to come in behind me and buy it all, continue up and buying to where I don't get my remaining 3.5 TXC. So let's come over here and look at what's going on in Texacoin. We have this downtrend that was established off of the big FOMO run up, and then we've been retracing through this gap. So back before, kind of in the beginning, remember TXC was only on DexTrade last year, and then it was added to Bitmart January 2nd. So got a tier 2 exchange, that was great, but there was only like 3 exchanges, and all the volume was on DexTrade, hardly any activity. It wasn't really until about May when it started picking up on some more exchanges, and then it got the wrapped version on Uniswap, and then I believe Biconomy came in August or something. I think pionex didn't come until October. MEXC was October, I believe. So a lot of these exchanges have barely listed. So it's really hard to say that the volume was really established through these older price points. So if we come and look at this horizontal line and just hit this stair step up that was nice, clean, and healthy, that's a very tiny move up, but let's put it there because it's there. So we only had a 1.17 was a former price, 1.4, the next stair. And we're going to come up here and go to the top of the wicks. The top of these wicks magically were the bottom of these wicks. That shows that that was a very true support line. 195 is that price. We're going to hit this top wick. This top wick magically went to this full body candle. Multiple touches on the charts means is more confirmation, more certainty in that price. And it looks like we were wanting to test that as a support zone. And then we're going to do that right there. So as we look across these, and then the next one we're going to do is that one. So we're going to make this one a different color. We're going to make this one purple because that one was the former kind of support zone that we're looking for. And we could even do one more of these below. And do that one right there. We're going to make this one yellow. Just to kind of show some differences on these. So we're going to kind of zoom in slowly and see how we were stair stepping up very gradually. This was a much more mechanical and a defiant move up of move up, build out support, move up, build out support. Part of that came from the lack of availability to a lot of these exchanges. And then also, the people that were in this were really at a point of, hey, I'm in this to make money. I'm in this for the long haul. And, these $1, $2 prices weren't life-changing with the amount of coins that they had. As they've been getting a lot of coins and getting more and also buying more as they were getting excited, all of a sudden this huge run-up showed everybody their account at, 715, and they were looking with, 50,000 coins or 10,000 coins or 100,000 coins, whatever amount that they had at the time. And at $7, they saw that real money and was like, whoa, there's a lot of money in here and I could use that. So we started seeing profit taking, especially as it became more available for people to jump on and take the profit. It was much easier. So and then also a lot of that FOMO slowed down because this was built up on going to Asia and the introduction to the international market, and then met some profit taking. There was this 380 was the October zone. The excitement for the nudge to test the November price range came a whole month, 5 weeks early. and the market wasn't strong enough to support it. There was a lot of sales that came from September, which was when the price was very euphoric and very high. So a test to see if the price back up there stimulated more sales that could also bring in more support to hold this price is likely what I think was the attempt. And again, just the market wasn't strong enough, and we see a lot more people that are much more comfortable selling, and everybody's trying to buy back here. Everybody is really comfortable buying at 250 and 3. Load up, load up, load up. But at 4 and 5, everybody's like, oh, I don't know if I want to buy that. So until that buying community has this confidence of the $250 and $3 price to buy at the $4.50 and $5 price, it's going to be very hard for the market to support and move up, because there's a lot more people who are comfortable taking the $3.50 to $5.50 profits and selling. And that's just kind of where we're at right now. Sentiment is that they want to buy cheaper, and people are okay with taking profits at this point, because a lot of these guys have hundreds of coins coming in daily as their distribution, and they're just using this as their retirement income or supplemental income. So they're setting their sells regardless of price just to get their daily, because they know that the coins are going to come back tomorrow. So I think a good way to see that is actually on here on Bitmart. When you go into the depth, that's where I was at, and then here you see it too. So on Bitmart, the largest exchange with the most volume, 34% of the order book is buys, and 65% of the order book is sells. It is we're almost double. Almost 2 sale orders for every buy order, and it's not necessarily order size. Now, granted, it is mostly orders amount, but it's also in dollar figures. There's a ton of stacked buys or sells at the higher price, because people are anticipating a nudge and a jump up, so people are trying to capture that. So they're putting sell orders in that aren't even going to be met, as we see with these ones that are up at the top end of the order book. And then there's everybody's trying to buy on bargain. So everybody is placing, most of the buys are back here in the 240 zone. So as algorithms seek the liquidity and where orders will be filled at, the price is going to go to 250. So as you're sitting here watching, when you see this is where the majority of the buys are, there's going to be a magnet for those to be filled. And vice versa, as the sells are back here, there's a pull this way to fill the orders. But if these are more willing to come down, which typically they are, sells are more willing to come down to buys. You could always sit there and say, hey, this is a $20 cup, and if nobody's going to pay $20, it's not a $20 cup. Just because you list it for sale at that price doesn't mean that that's what that price is. It's not a price until somebody's willing to buy. So I know a lot of people are trying to sit here and blame the sellers. They're driving the price down. They're driving the price down. They would love to sell for 10 if they could. They would love to sell for 10 if they could. You're freaking needy. But they're going to have to come down to wherever people are willing to buy if they need to fill that order. And people are not willing to buy until the lower price. So the reason that TXC's price is going down is not because of sellers. It is because of buyers, actually. And the lack of buyers at or above this price. So as we see, I set the $319.99 price, and that's why TXC is holding that on pionex. And I don't know if it's going to automatically hold that on CoinMarketCap. Let's see if it shows, because some of them are instant. Yeah, see, still showing 312. These aren't always going to be instant. So if you're looking for, I could get a deal at Bitmart, and then I can go sell them on Jew, or I can go sell them on XT, or sell it on Uniswap. Remember, there's a time gap in the exchanges and transfers that you'll miss that arbitrage price gain. And a lot of times it's a false order book, where it's not that they're cheaper. It's just that there hasn't been an order yet. So you're not going to get anything until you buy at 320 or at least 294, 296. So realistically, this spread should be the middle between 296.013 and 320, which that is 24, so 12. So what is that? 08. Yeah. So really 308 is the mid on Bitmart, but the last order that there was any volume at that filled a while ago was at 281.5. So that's just how they show their price. Instead of the mid between these two, they're showing the last price filled. So this video was a lot longer than I anticipated. I did jump into the market conditions of the last couple days because TXC has seen some downfalls. The Telegram channel has had quite a bit of discussion and concerns about the price, and rightfully so. You know, you don't like seeing these downtrends. These suck. When you're, especially when you look at your account and you're big red. It is a buying opportunity if you're a believer. You are getting a discount to buy more, and there is great opportunity in that. Just kind of wanting to see this. This is our parallel channel that we are in right now. So we got to break out of this. This was from the high run-up day. These are all daily candles. top, and then use the top of this runoff and the bottom of this runoff. This one I don't really count because this was kind of a fade. You know, we could run off this if we want to, but I was going green candle to green candle. So if we do this off red candle, it's going to be like that, and we're going to make this one red because we're going off the bottom of the reds. And this one technically need to go to that green one right there. So we're going to make this green because it's off the greens. I'm going to make this one yellow because that's what we have to break above. So there's just a little quick little visual of the trends that we are in right now. If we want to go to a more positive outlook and see an uptrend, we could look at, you know, all these ones we broke. We would have to go to something like this to see that like super long uptrend. Realistically, as long as it's kind of funny and comical, but if price is going to be above these points, I'm going to zoom in real quick, and this video is going to be so long. I'm so sorry. Too much to talk about. Let's go to that wick right there and actually touch a wick here. Let's go to that. There we go. So now when we zoom out of this, we can see our long-term trend has not been tested, and we are still building price. This would be the sound the alarm. We're going down. The project is struggling, and this would be scary. So we don't want to see that break of structure. This July run had a lot of action, so I'm going to kind of just put a horizontal on this one, just because this is where I think we're going to have to touch to fully regain, unless the buying pressure just steps up and really pushes it. But as long as we don't break this zone, we're going to be going up. We're going to be going up. This was our first breakout attempt kind of thing of excitement. We're going to make that one orange. A touch of 250 is not impossible to think about. So brace yourself. You know, if you've been in crypto, you know you got a tight stomach to hold your lunch, because the twists and turns and the ups and downs of crypto is wild. There are some big run-ups, there are some big drops, and you get this along with this, and forever up there's a down kind of thing. So as we go down right now, this is obviously not a fun ride, but once this finds the bottom and those buyers start outpacing the sellers, again, not just in placing orders. It is not just placing orders, because in order for volume to happen, which we've had increased volume, so it's not a lack of buyers. The problem is that the buyers don't like the price. The buyers want the price to be cheaper. And then they come and ask for, why is the price not higher? Well, the only way that the price is going to go higher is if you're willing to buy higher. So look yourself in the mirror and see, are you willing to buy at 4? Because then the price will become 4 very quickly. And there you go, my order filled. So it took a little bit, took us about 30 minutes to get that all wrapped up from start to finish. Sorry for the long video walking through all that. But there you go. I bought my 25 TXC or so, or 27 TXC. I don't remember exactly what it was. And now we're looking for the ride up. I will hopefully get some more money in here to buy again shortly. Off this tail off, I'm looking at this one, and if some people follow this today and build some momentum, we could at least get a short-term rally going. But again, not financial advice, not a financial guru. I'm here just to show you my personal opinion and walk you through any of the steps that you are uncertain with and how you want to approach those. Again, your money, your goals. But that is the step-by-step on how to buy, and it is the same to sell. Essentially, if you hit a market sell, you are instantly going to sell at however many TXC you want to sell at whatever price it takes to sell them. So when you see this, if I hit a market sell because I wanted to get $137, I'm going to push the price all the way down to $315.92, and I'll sell 43 TXC to do that. Selling 43 TXC is going to push the price down, and I'm going to get $137. If I place a limit, hypothetically, we want to place a limit. What did I buy? 20. What did I buy? History right here will show me. I bought about 6.7 and 1.4, so that's 7.25. So about 30.25 TXC is what I ended up buying. So we come over here, market sell. I don't want to do a market sell because that's going to drive the price down. I don't want to sell at this price. I barely bought at this price. So we like doing the repeating numbers. I want it to show up. Oh, that would be the order that I would place. Somebody already stole my thing. So watch this. We're gonna just go 3 point. I just wanted to show the order coming in without it being filled. I don't want it to fill, but if it has to fill, here we'll do this one. 3.22088 for my 30 TXC. 30.30 because I think that's what I put. And then we come up here and we see my order right there, 30.30 TXC at 320.88, and I will make my $97. So I actually have a little bit more probably. I'll make my $97 back right there, or I'll get $97 for selling it. So there's a little step-by-step. Sorry, again, I got off on a tangent in the middle while the order was filling and wanted to show kind of the market details of what's going on. A lot of people have been asking that as well. But there was your buy, there was your sell. And again, if you don't want to do that anymore because you have a new conviction, boom, cancel, because I'm not selling. I'm not selling at these prices yet. I want to see this price above the range. I know that I could sit here and I could try to funnel through the middle, but this move down doesn't show strength to me, and I think this will be quickly absorbed up to the 380 plus range. So I'm gonna do 395, and that's where I would sell my first 30.5. What I bought today, I'm not selling until 395. Oh wait, I want you guys to be able to see me when it fills. 5.5, 30.33, and sell. There you go. When we get back up there in the next couple days, I would imagine, as soon as some momentum picks up, you'll see 30.33 that I just bought today be sold at 395.55. Hope this was helpful. if I still didn't go slow enough, or if I skipped a step and you are held up on something, please feel free to reach out and message me directly. I could either make a video again, or I can walk you through the step. I have no problem messaging you. It's your money and your choice exactly on the price points that you're going to want to sell at. What I do recommend, as far as if you're going to get frequent in trading and you want to accumulate and build, a very, very conservative and very, very easy process to do is whatever you buy at. So if you buy at 320, look to get a 10% gain on that. So 32-cent gain puts you at 352. So sell at 352, make your 10%, and then try to buy back at 3 or 4% less. Try to buy back at 340. And then you buy at 340, and then when the price goes up, you set your next order another 10% to like 375. And as the price gradually climbs up, where you're selling is where somebody else is buying, and then all those ladder rungs are going to be met, and the price is going to continue to climb, and you'll see that. If you don't want to be frequently in trading, but you want to contribute to the volume, pionex has these bots that'll automatically do the trading for you. As you can see, I am down bad on all my bots because these were all set in the 375, 380 price range. Can't do a whole lot at 320 when all of your buys are that high, except take a bath on the sales. So if you want to contribute to the volume, set up some bots. I have a video walking you through that, and I can make another one. But right now, I hope this helps and encourages those who are hesitant to get into the market, that want to get into the market. You get your money in, set a buy. When the price is in a deep discount, feel free to market buy. Now, if you were coming in with a very, very large amount, say $10,000, that is well beyond what the order book is, and you can see that on CoinMarketCap. In this part right here, the plus or minus 2% depth. So not all of them are reporting that. Currently, Mexi is the only one that is showing that. And to move the price up, it would take only $459. To drop the price would only yield $189. And you could drop the price 2%. To raise the price up is $459. It's because there's so many more sellers than buyers. And it's not necessarily in quantity, it's the amount of orders placed and the dollars that they're set at. So people are willing to sell, and they're ready for the nudge, which unfortunately is people trying to take advantage of the liquidity injections. But our buyers are not there. The buyers are down here. Look at our biggest buy orders, 315.87 down here. They're looking for the discounts. So until the discount, bargain hunters are believing in the project that this is a discount enough, because they want to see these numbers flip and see a 5 or a 4 or a 6 or a 10 in front. Market buy or limit above the ask, and that is a bullish buy. The more orders that are placed above the market middle, above the middle, or above the lowest, if you place it above this, that signals to the computers that are building the algorithms and looking for the liquidity that there's a desire to push the price up. If the orders are down here, there's a desire to push the price down, and the price is going to follow. So just a little how-to on everything. Now this is my longest video I've ever made, so I'm going to hop off. I'll make another one. I hope this helps, and sorry for the length. Guys, have a good day.